So in today's video, let's get acquainted with a small gun that is different from the norm. That is a small pistol or a handgun. The pistol I'm going to talk about here today is a very popular pistol with a lot of history. When I searched about it, I got very few videos to understand this gun. I mean, we all watch James Bond movies. That is, if you put what is special about James Bond, from his coat to the underwear he wears, it will be branded. We are going to talk about James Bond's favorite weapon, Walter PPK. That is, in 1929, a German named Karl Walter invented the world's first double-action semi-automatic gun. And I also said two things here: double-action, semi-automatic. So when we learn about handguns, one of the basic things that we need to know is triggering mechanism. So basically there are two triggering mechanisms. One is double-action and second is single-action. That means we all know how a gun fires. By the time the trigger is pulled, hammer of the gun hits a firing pin and the shot is fired. One thing we have noticed that here is that if the hammer of the gun is to be pushed forward, the hammer must first go back. Cocking is the process of moving the firing pin of the gun backwards. So by the time you look at it, two things have to happen for the shot to go off. The hammer must be cocked or fired. That means two actions should happen. In other words, whether a gun is double action or single action is decided based on the role of the trigger in the occurrence of these two actions. And you should listen carefully to what is going to be said. If you ask what happened in a single action gun, a trigger is needed to be released at the hammer. That means we have to cock the hammer manually. And after that, the hammer will be released when the trigger are pulled. The second mechanism is double action. By the time a trigger is pulled, our hammer is cocked and released. So it is called double action gun because it is triggered in two actions. So both these methods have their own advantages and disadvantages. So I won't go into it now. So let's come back to our Walter. In 1929, our Karl Walter made the pistol. So 1930, many police services in Europe started using this gun as their official gun. And so the Walter PP was born. Here PP in Walter PP stands for police pistol. So by the time another year passed by, 1931, Walter released a very small version of this which was very convenient and could be carried in hand pocket. That is Walter PPK, where there is a K with PP, which means police pistol criminal. This is a German word. That is a K for criminal, which means it was released for criminal investigation officers or detectives. A small handgun is a model that they can hide in their pockets or clothes. This gun released in this way because very famous. We know that period of 1930 and 1935 is the period when the Nazi party was spreading in Germany. Then the Nazi took this gun there. All Nazi party membership had a PPK in their hand. And PPK had Nazi logo. The PPK guns that were used by the Nazi during the German period are still a favorite gun of gun collectors. Today these guns are auctioned for crores of rupees. So the connection of this PPK with the Nazis does not end here. In other words, if you look closely at history, we know that the Second World War was actually ended by a gun called Walter PPK. That is, we know that Adolf Hitler, who started the Second World War, committed suicide in the end. Adolf Hitler used a Walter PPK to commit suicide. That is, if we talk about Adolf Hitler's suicide, if we go to the internet and search Adolf Hitler's gun, we will get a picture of a golden PPK. We will get a picture of a golden PPK with detailed golden engraving. This Hitler did not commit suicide with that gun. Hitler's PPK has not been recovered yet. That is, perhaps you are aware that Hitler's death is a controversy. That is, there are two arguments that Hitler committed suicide and that he escaped from the bunker. That is, Hitler's body itself could not be recovered from there. And based on the words of some soldiers who said that they saw Hitler lying dead, it has been concluded that he committed suicide with a Walter PPK gun. If you look at their history, South Korea is the country that is the most to the PPK gun. South Korea is a developed country that is very high in terms of industry. That is, South Korea was under a dictator until 1979. The dictator of South Korea at the time was shot dead by PPK gun. If we talk about this event in a metaphorical way, it was a gun called Walter PPK that brought democracy to this country. Then if we look at it, many people who have made their mark in the world, cinematographers and singers on this PPK gun. And when it comes to James Bond, the creator of James Bond, Ian Bonding, gave a Beretta 419 pistol in the first James Bond novel. Later in 1958, Geoffrey Brathwaite, a British arms expert, told Ian Fleming that when he says a detective, the weapon he can carry is not a bullet but a Walter PPK. Because it is very convenient to use Walter PPK. You can hide it anywhere, it can fire accurately, and even though it was made in 1929, it is still being released today without any major change in the model. Walter PPK is an engineering marvel that can fire very accurately. It is a very small gun, but its firing accuracy is very commendable wiring accuracy. In all James Bond novels written by Ian Fleming after 1958, this Walter PPK gun was placed in the hand of Agent 007, who is the central character of his writings. So I said that it was Walter PP who ended the Second World War. The Second World War significantly affected the production of Walter PPK. By 1958, Walter had moved his family factory to West Germany. Later, Allied West Germany also banned the production of arms. With that, Walter shifted the factory to France. Later, it started exporting to America. Along with that, it started the production in the United States, collaboration with Smithson and Weston. Later, the golden age of Walter began. Today, Walter PPK is a handgun that is very popular. That is, more than 50 countries use this gun as a service gun in their police force and so on. That is, there are many variants of the gun. This Walter PPK is available today, all of which differ in barrel length and ammunition type, etc. That is to say, this video is not a technical review. The only intention is to share with you some interesting fact about this famous and historically important gun called Walter PPK that I only had. That's why I didn't include the technical stuff in this video. Anyway, I hope everyone liked the video, so please like the video, share it and subscribe to the channel. See you again with another more interesting and informative video. Until then, bye.